with that, I'll be like, I'm trying to like be this dude. I'm scared of like how everyone sees me, and also like I think I got bullied a lot if I remember.
Yeah.
Too, at least in like middle school, or like.
When you say like bully, like are you talking about like people just like talking bad about you, people not including you in things? Cause that
so it's like, yeah, just kind of like people talking bad about me, and specifically in 9th grade, physical abuse. But we're not going to that.
Wait.
It's kind of like fights, but it's kind of like I'll get into fights, but I'm just like I wasn't physically strong, so I get beat up.
So like they picked on you because like you were small.
Yeah, because I was smaller, yeah, kind of thing.
Dang.
But like, yeah, that's kind of built on that. A really big one that like affects my life right now, because I still struggle with that a lot, is like the way I saw my parents. It's kind of like this idea of like punishment is like a fear of mine, and it even affects like my relationship with God and stuff a lot, because and that's, I can go into some specifics, but kind of how I view God was shaped also based on like that, how I grew up, and a lot of things like I saw, or a lot of things on my mind I tend to think about still are built around fear a lot, like, or I still struggle with that a lot in like a lot of things. Like now I'm like, yo, let me talk to this person, like what are they gonna think, or like I already start assuming what they're gonna think. That's the thing. It's like or like even with my health, like I'm like, yo, what if I sleep and I don't wake up the next morning type of thing. Like I actually be thinking about these things like steady. So it's kind of like, that's why I say it's like the biggest emotion that like shapes me a lot. Like,
so it's fear of just like everything. That's like overwhelming fear. Like that's deep, bro. Like thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Actually, like that helped with the last question. Like, what time is it? All right, bet. So, like, to sort of wrap up, since we're at like the 20-minute mark, is I want to ask, since I definitely, like, one of the biggest things, and shout out if you've watched this far into the podcast, like, y'all real ones, especially for it only being episode 2. But one of the things I definitely want to offer with this podcast is this idea that people can grow from each other, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that even sometimes our ministry, to be honest, underuses is like the universal law, which is love your neighbor. You know, like, love your neighbor, do to them as
you want them to do to you.
Exactly, like the universal law. And I think with your story, one thing I can definitely see you being able to provide advice for is like, you know, take this time to like picture me as your younger self, and by doing that, like every other kid who is small, foreign, strict parents, and in that situation still.
Yeah.
Like they're going through it like right now. Like they are in that situation, or they're still being affected by it mentally as they're growing up, and it's sort of affecting who they are. What would you tell that person? Like, what would be your words of advice as someone who went through that, and I'm guessing still sort of has like
struggles with
that?
Yeah. I would say, so the advice I would give is, instead of jumping straight to fear, like actually take a look at the situation and see what it is. Like, it's kind of like balancing the whole like emotion and like being logical kind of thing. Because that's something, it's like, for example, with my parents, it's like they're not always going to give me the response. Like there's sometimes my parents have like given me, like I was scared to tell them about how I was doing in school, but my mom was like, nah, we support you. Like that was not what I expected to hear.
Yeah.
But like, instead of, it's kind of basically in summary, the advice would be like, go off of faith and not fear. Like trust before you start jumping to the conclusion of like, yo, I should not do this because I'm scared, or like I should just be like dwelling in my fears. So
essentially like face it head on, like
challenge it, yeah, like reason with it and have faith, like trust God, trust like that the situation is not necessarily what you think it is. And even if it is, like grow from that, like, because then it's like there's stuff happens for a reason. So it's like that's pretty much the advice I have.
Thanks, my brother. Again, like, yo, to everyone still here, I just want to let you know you're a real one. You're smart.
You're loyal.
You loyal.
Take this money.
Light skin win. Let's go, Khaled. But like honestly, like I really do hope you guys are getting value out of this. Like, I'm guessing if you're watching episode 2, you probably watched episode 1. So definitely, as we go through this, I hope you are starting to get your opinions of the show, and definitely let me know. Like, depending on where you watch this, that just leave comments and just tell me what you liked about it, what your favorite parts about it was, so we can do more of it. And definitely, if you like my guy Favour, let him know so we can bring him back on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely support love with love. And yeah. So this is the point where, like, do you have anything you're working on right now that you want to like plug?
So right now, so there's this New Year's Eve party in DC.
Hey.
It's like it's by this so it's pretty much it's by an organization called JamQuest, and they're trying to raise money for like children and like in need in countries like or in countries in Africa and like other parts of the world that like that they do have those needs.
Yeah.
Because people are like thinking about because the point is like the point of it in general, or what I like to think of is helping people get to know God, because that's like the main thing. Because people wake up and they're like, what am I going to eat? What am I going to like?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what they're worried about. But none of them are worried about like, how's my relationship with God? Like, how's my life right now? Like, but it's just the situations hold them back from these things. So like, this organization is like, trying to raise money.
Yeah. And
they raise money through like events, like parties and sports events and stuff. So the New Year's Eve party is happening on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And the theme is Wakanda Forever. So I'm working on a photo shoot. I'm trying to like get together a photo shoot for promotion and stuff. But yeah, that's a plug. Come through.
So where can they like apply for that stuff at, really?
So right now I don't have all the information. Isaiah.
That's good.
I'm gonna ask him to put more info out when it's time, but it'll be on social media. Like I have a photography page. It's called Shot by Fayon. So like Fayon is Faon. And yeah, so I'll put stuff on there too from the shoot. So yeah, and I'm also working. I do music and I sell beats, and I'm trying to raise some money. So if you're a rapper, or singer, especially if you're a singer, I'm kind of.
You got fire.
If you have some heat, like
you have that real, because it's cold outside.
It's cold, yeah.
Yo, bro, it's so cold.
It's so windy.
It's so windy, bro. Like you gotta check the inside of your thumbs. You gotta check the inside of the thumbs, bro. You got sleeve on, roll them up, check your elbow.
Yeah, nah. So if you're working on any projects, like music-wise, and you need like a producer, like a beat maker. I like to call myself a beat maker because that's what I do. I make beats.
Beat maker.
So like, but if you're looking to buy any beats, if you're looking to collaborate in anything, I'm mainly like an R&B person. So if you're a singer and you're like nice,
Basically, he has some like chill breeze, like he has some like R&B like throwbacks, like chill vibes.
Yeah.
So I mean, technically, you can.
I can also make EDM.
Yeah.
If you want.
But, let him know. And he's new too, so like he probably got you with the prices right now. Like that. So that exposure, that you know what I'm saying.
Tracktrain.com/Fayon. Is it / or /? Which one is the URL?
That's,
anyway.
that's / bro.
/ okay, yeah. / Fayon. You see some stuff on there, or like I have stuff on Spotify too. So yeah, it's just Fayon. So look it up. And yeah, that's it.
Sweet. Thank you for tuning into podcast episode number 2. It's a wrap. Like, subscribe, do all that. We go.
Notification squad.
Sweet. So